Well, good morning, everybody. Karen, take it for a minute. Which I've got my senior sellers calling from Cincinnati. Go ahead.
No problem. Good morning. Good morning. Hi everybody. Welcome. Thanks. Today, what is today? Gosh, we're already through October. I can't believe it. I mean, what is it today?
23rd.
23rd. Hi Terry. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, everyone. Today we have Deb Del Rio on. She's an agent in the Gulfport area, so we invited her to join. She's not feeling very well, so Deb, if you do feel like saying hi, you can unmute and say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay, then my technology is working. I couldn't hear you for a while. Good to see you. Happy
too.
Monday.
Happy Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So Deb, we had I had the privilege of having lunch with Deb on Friday, and oh my gosh, her story. If you ever have a chance, sit down with her. She has a very, very interesting story from being being raised in Acapulco, but also in the U.S. and very, very experienced in life. So, thanks for joining us today, Deb.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
So everyone, Sean, let's talk about rates because I heard I heard Steve say on Market Watch that everything's at 5% now. Like the no, well, not the rates, but you know what I'm talking about.
10-year. Yeah. The 10-year.
So what's going on in the market?
Yeah. So right now, woke up this morning and I look at the market, and the bond market's already getting crushed. So, we're just at this level of, any news, anything that happens overseas affects our market. And I mean, it's so fragile right now. So right now in a 30-year, you're in the eights. You're most likely, you could have 800 credit score and you are at 8. Doesn't matter. There's no way around it. So you're looking at, if we really need to start pushing and looking at the buy downs and buying down the rate. I mean, that's just what's happening right now until we see some unemployment increases, which is terrible to think, but that's what we got to have. We got to have a slowdown in the economy. We can't have numbers coming out showing that the economy's on fire. So it's really what's happening right now. I mean, we're probably going to be hanging out around 8% probably for the next couple months.
Hey, Sean, you know what I noticed? First of all, I think the normal American doesn't sense that. I don't sense that when I go to Publix. But I noticed gas really took a dive this week.
Yeah.
It was like $2.93 a gallon, $2.93 at Costco. I was like, wow, that seems really inexpensive. Yeah. So, when you see things like that and you see the restaurants being busy, it's such an odd time for the economy, it seems, right?
Yeah, for us, look, in our industry, we're feeling differently than other people in other industries because we're feeling the hurt of the rates, right? Other industries, not so much, but we are starting to see some signs. There's such a big spread, and this is technical, between the Fed funds rate and the actual interest rate. It's too big of a spread right now. That means that rates will come back at some point soon. I mean, but when I say soon, I'm talking a couple months. So when you start seeing signs of gas prices going down, that's good news. You start seeing some negative news out of the economy, like higher unemployment, lower retail sales, lower GDP. All those things are good for rates. So I think we've gotten everybody used to 7s, 7.5s, and now 8s. I think, most people I talk to right now are not like, what do you mean? Why aren't they in the 6s? Nobody's saying that anymore. So at least psychologically, we're seeing the acceptance of where rates are, which helps. So, but the buy downs really are something I would look at. That any buyer I ever got, I would say, look, let's look at buy downs. Let's look at what would it cost. Ed asked me, I think Friday, to send him some numbers on a buy down. If you just want, just send me your listing sales price and I can send you, this is what you're looking at on a 3-2-1 buy down, which is more expensive, a 2-1 buy down, and at least, have the conversation with your buyer or seller as to this option.
Yep. Sean, for those who weren't with us last week, you mentioned Sean and Karen came up with some verbiage to put in the MLS listings. And I did that on all of mine with my seller's permission about, seller, special financing,
right,
et cetera. And I don't know why, but I did get a few more looks this weekend. I'm not sure if it was that or if it was just people were looking, but I think you have to not only change that, but maybe get with your seller for some type of reduction in purchase price, because then it'll regenerate to the people who are, the hot sheets. So not just that verbiage, lower it down a little bit,
Yeah.
I just put it in the chat. So you can change it from the 2% to a 3% if you want, but the verbiage, according to Sean,
go ahead,
Karen. The verbiage should be generic because Sean has to crunch numbers. You can't really say 3-2-1 buy down. So
they wouldn't know what that means anyways.
They won't understand it. And then what you want to do is get with Sean and just let the seller know, like, this is what we did on someone had a listing and I was helping her with it. And what we put in there is, in the listing agreement, we put the seller's willing to go up to 15,000. So that gives us leverage with what we can put in MLS. What we're going to put in MLS, we're going to keep it at the full price for 2 weeks. Then we have the authority in 2 weeks from the listing agreement to bring it down or to offer the special financing with the 2% lower interest rate.
Yeah, very good.
If that makes sense.
You know what, Karen, I know we kick around different ideas here on Monday mornings. And, I've got a few listings that haven't gotten a lot of showing. So I thought I'd reboost them this weekend. And for those who don't know, that's a separate class we can do with Sean. But what I did was I toggled the button to show the price in the boosted listing rather than no price. So I'd love your opinion. And Ed, I'm going to start with you because I know you got to run. So when you advertise a property, is it a good idea or not, in your opinion, to put the price out there?
Well, that's a great question. Because lately I've been seeing properties advertised because they get all these property boosts and everything, and without the price. And it's, it's a good question because it always intrigues me to look it up.
Here's why I brought it up. When I had a couple of people come in, especially the Northerners, into this little waterfront condo that your one customer might be interested in, they couldn't believe how reasonable it was. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's why I thought, I'm going to put the price out there. When they see that waterfront view, that you're sitting in these two beautiful chairs, and there's Tampa Bay for $460. Okay. Well, people from Boston and New York and Philadelphia who are on Chesapeake Bay, whatever, they thought it was a bargain. And you know what I related it to? When I was in college, I ran a men's store in Buffalo. And you know what? You take things off the hanger, you put them on a table, $9.99 and up, and everybody's all over it. It's the same thing. It's just that you get the perceptions like that's a good value. So I'll let you know if I get more hits on it. But anyways, I thought we'd chat about that this morning.
That house I sold in Tarpon Woods, it was for $800,000 something, and the guy from Massachusetts thought it was a steal.
Right. Yeah, that's why I think when we do, Sean, I'll get to you in a second, when we boost something and with Sean's help on listener leads, I think it's probably a good idea to put the price out there. What can it hurt? Sean?
So here's what it depends on. What is your purpose of advertising? Okay. If you want to advertise for leads, okay, you want to put it out there and you want to attract leads, you do not want to put the price in because you immediately will exclude people, right? If your goal with the ad is to really sell that listing, okay, that listing, you specifically are targeting somebody to buy that, then put the price, because then you're going to get some, the people who click on your ad are really interested in that property. You're just going to get less in numbers, of leads. If you want leads, you want people that may buy something else or in the near future buy something else, you don't want to put the price on because you want to capture their information. That's the key to an ad. But if you want, like I said, sell the property specifically, then put the price in there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean, and so does Tyler, obviously. Hey, Jim, let me get your opinion on that. What do you think of that, of putting a price tag on a advertisement?
No, I think Sean is right on. I tried both with one property. One's had, the same property, one with price and one without. Well, the one with the price definitely get more specific buyers. But the one without the price, you're gonna get some haters. They're gonna say, you know what, I'm here, might as well leave the price. They get very upset with trying to fish for their information, because the way we set it up was we'll give them a little bit of information. They click on a couple of things, and now they have to fill out a form. So they get really upset, and they actually write some hate stuff on there. But that's what you get. I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah,
yeah,
I get it. Don't be hating, right? Okay.
No, be really specific in your ads. I think, if you're gonna go for the leads, then whatever beautiful properties that you have, and just word it that way, so you can get it for leads.
Got it. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, but I thought I would try, because again, I'm trying to. When I think if somebody up north sees that property, it's a bargain. So where buyers are looking online anywhere, why at Zillow or Realtor.com, and they're looking for Clearwater, and they can see all of them. Terry, I'm glad you're joining us today. I'm glad you're feeling better, I'm assuming, right? Love your opinion, my friend. Go ahead, unmute.
My voice isn't real good this morning.
Okay, well then you rested, my friend.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm glad you're feeling better at least. So Colleen, I'm going to go around and hit all our experienced agents. Then you newbies, I'm coming after you. So Colleen, go ahead.
Well, I've tried it both ways without the price, and I made some people mad. I mean, they were upset when I advertised without a price. So I think if you just do trigger points, I've noticed if I put the little icons before, like for baths, I put the bathroom little thing, and just to catch their eye, and then you have the price in there somewhere, and make sure you have a catchy little new price, undervalue for area or something to capture some interest.
Yeah, look, I think there's no right or wrong answer here. It's just we're fishing for different fish, and I brought this up as well because I did an open house in New Port Richey on Saturday, and the couple that walked in, senior couple, they've got a big home, they want to downsize, and she loves her home. He wants to be on the water. She walked in and she goes, "I'm appalled at the price tag on this home." I said, "Really?" I said, "It's the cheapest home on the water on a canal with a lift in New Port Richey." Well, they should have put some new flowers in or something. I'm thinking, oh boy, Anyways, if I had the 650 tag laying out front there, would they have come in? I don't know. So that's also why I thought we'd chat about this morning. Rachel, what do you think?
I agree with Sean. I think, and it depends on your purpose. If you want to attract, especially with waterfront properties, I probably would first 2 weeks without the price tag just to see where it hits. And then you slowly, if you drop the price a little bit and you repost it, different price strategy. It's all about, if you have a home needs a lot of work, I won't put the price tag on there because it's going to turn people off. But you have a beautiful waterfront property right on the beach, go for it because you never know who you come. Doesn't matter what you do, price or no price, there's always going to be haters. But
I agree.
We're just going to try.
Yeah. And just so you know, I mean, all three of these properties have been on the market for at least 45 days. So I tried it the other way, then I tried it this way. And what I also did was I changed the front-facing photo to what the primary photo should have been, which would have been, like, for example, the condo on the water view, okay? And then the one in New Port Richey with the canal, a drone shot of the boat and the canal in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's why the buyer for these properties is going to buy those properties, is because of those, of what, that primary photo. Lisa, you're up, dear. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Well, I just listed something in Land O'Lakes. It's right off of 54, and I haven't had a call yet. And I know that I'm priced right. I'm at 339.9. And I went with my photographer last week and we staged it and I had to clean it. Believe it or not, it's disgusting, but we have tenants in there. So I could not put pictures out online like that. And then I was horrified with some of the stuff I saw, but it's all bleached and clean now. And actually the tenant got mad at me. Called me.
Well, Lisa, tell us how you really feel. Come on. Okay.
No, but he was furious with me because I moved his stuff. Well, the whole counter was filled with takeout containers. And I'm not talking 5 or 10. I'm talking 40 or 50. Crumbs everywhere. And he knew I was coming. And also, he left credit cards out, money out, medication. So I put it in an email. We had a talk, but I reiterated it. I sent him an email to cover my butt. I said, as per our conversation the other day, I'm going to try to make this transition as easy as possible for you, but I need you to be aware that you need to put all your personal belongings away, including medicine. And I actually I stated it, medicine, cards, blah, blah, blah. Because in the event that he goes and says something is missing, I want a paper trail. So I didn't text it. I emailed it.
Good for you. Okay,
you guys
Lisa,
agree with me?
Yes, I mean, you're right. But what? Okay, let's get to the question of price or no price.
Oh, the question about
advertising.
advertising. I think in anything under 500, you should always put a price because those people are on a budget. Anything over that price, like on the water, or you should, in the beginning, advertise it the way it is and see what fish come and ask for, what people you attract. But then after, maybe just put the price on after about 2 weeks. Good. Because some people do get mad. They don't want to click and then they get nasty.
It's for look, we're creating leads like Sean has shared and most of you agreed with. I agree with that, but maybe down the road, we can do it both ways. We'll see. Well, I'll let you know. I will let you know next week if I get any hits because of putting the price on there. So thank you, Mr. Lieb, my magician. Go for it.
No price means it's overpriced. I'm in the hate club. If you don't have a price, I think that's the incorrect way to do it. If you want to market without a price, then perhaps you could market, these homes in my area for 500,000, so because that's the bottom line. It's always the price. Why waste anybody's time? Oh, it's a beautiful house, but it's 500 grand. It's out of my price range.
Yeah.
So I'm all in on the price. If you don't leave a price, I think that's a disservice to whoever you're trying to sell their property.
That's a very interesting thought. I was just relating it to my 2 restaurateurs on here, thinking if there's something on a menu that says market price, do I order it? I kind of feel guilty about asking. Well, how much is the crab? Jimmy, what do you think? You're muted, Jim.
If you ask, you can't afford.
Yeah, I like that, Colleen.
That's right.
That's not
right.
true.
Yeah,
As a restaurateur.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, in a restaurant, it's a whole different mentality though, because you want to have some special things on the menu for somebody who celebrates something special and they willing to go all out and pay for that special day for their birthday or something.
Yeah.
That's why it's there.
Got it.
Because, but
I know it's not a fair comparison, but still,
no,
I'm thinking when it says market price, it's like, but I like your opinion, Jason. I think that was interesting. Very good. And Mr. Parker, thanks for joining us. Just drive safely. Sherry, can you unmute and share your opinion?
Well, here's the thing that I find interesting is, obviously I realize that a lot of realtors put in, they don't ever give out their email, right? And so they always want you to fill out a form, so that's how they build their CRM. And I feel like not showing a price, there's a good and bad. The good about it is it keeps people interested and it makes them want to ask questions. I think that if you give out all your cards right at the rip, you really don't know who you're missing out on. Right? I mean, they don't know what they're missing out on until they get there and they're like, wow, could be a great price. However, on the flip side of that, you could be missing out on those buyers that say, oh, you know what, that's too high of a price before they even look at the property. And be able to say, you know what, that even though 900,000 is a great price, if they could do 850, it's workoutable, right? Or 900,000 with some credit for closing costs. And sometimes there is a time where, especially for sellers, when sellers say, hey, don't show you should have shown my price, even if you didn't show the price, being able to work out a net sheet for them to show their bottom line is something that I think we should, if we're not going to show the price, it's something that we should show the sellers. There was a realtor last week that was looking for a net sheet, and I don't do my net sheets where I'm like, oh, here, go to a portal, or here, go to, here's the title insurance. I don't think that that's effective. What is effective is getting a true sample settlement statement where I've looked up their mortgage. I'm smart and seasoned enough where I can actually look at a mortgage, see that it was taken out October 2015, and I can give you a roundabout what the payoff's going to be. And I include the taxes, and I include the HOA dues. So when you guys get that final net sheet, whether it's for a listing appointment or to show your seller how things are worked out, it really gives them a true bottom line of what their that their sales proceeds are going to be. When we were working out these details, they kept saying, oh, we need a certain, we want to see a good number at the end. And when we first started doing it at the higher purchase price, it ended up being like 99,985 was the sales proceeds. But after redoing some of the numbers, giving certain or taking away certain credits, even being able to lower the purchase price, we got it to a point where it's six figures. Even if it's $100,010, all that seller is going to see is the six figures, and they go to the bank. That's it. If they saw five figures, it's not going to happen. But six figures, you have more likely chance of that offer being accepted and the seller being more satisfied than, and that takes over the, even though you didn't do the sales price, you worked out a net sheet for them to show them what your goal is for them to get the sales proceeds that they
Very
would be
interesting,
satisfied.
Sherry. Yeah, thank you. Michelle, if you are able, unmute and share your thoughts on price or no price on your marketing advertising.
Yes, thank you. I've been waiting. To be honest, guys, there's no one way. It depends on all the things. I agree with a lot of the things that you guys are saying. If you are trying to capture leads, you do want to leave them something to ask you. Don't post it all. Give them something to ask. Don't even put the address, just put the town or something like that. Give them a reason to reach out to you. That is a way to capture leads. But I totally agree with what Jason said. You really do get that perception that if there is no price, it must be overpriced. So when you do put the price and you feel that it's probably on the high end, state something that gives that value perception. Mm-hmm. This is why it's worth asking that much, or, but I think that you also need to keep in mind, you want to please your seller. It's not all about getting leads, and when you do a good job for your seller and you're putting out good ads that do, they don't want to see negative comments. So if you're not putting the price and people are hating on you, that's not going to look good to your seller. At the same time, it's not just your seller that's looking at that. It's everybody that they are associated with that could be potential clients for you down the road, referrals. Mm-hmm. So think about that when you're phrasing your post, you know, how, if this was the seller looking to buy this house, what would they want me to say? Kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So those are the things that I factor in when I'm thinking about a post for a house, but definitely if the price is the attraction, if it is the big deal that it is priced well, of course you're going to put the price. If you don't want to, if you want to be a little bit vague, maybe put priced in the low 500s or priced in the low 600s, price to sell. Give them, you know, a little bit of a teaser that they'll ask you a question.
Got it.
But I also, I want to point out, a lot of times I'm seeing people do open house posts and they forget to say where they are, the address of the house in the post. So that's important. Just want to mention that.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks. Thank you, Michelle. So Mr. Duran, Michael, why don't you, you're new to the business and we're grateful that you're, you know, we think you're doing great with what you're attempting to do with all the open houses, et cetera. So what's your thought on posting a price versus no price in marketing?
Well, so far, at least the house I did in Carrollwood, because it was gut renovated, the listing agent asked to put the price because they felt it was comparable to the area on top of how much they put into it. Mm-hmm. So that one they asked to put the price. And then I did one in Ruskin on Saturday. The entire area is all brand new, the new community, every house is new. The problem with that area, there's a few houses for sale. They're a year old, but they're all the same price range. So she kind of told me, the listing agent, you're probably gonna not have anybody come in. And that's what happened. Even though the price is very good, it was 4 and change for a brand new house. Mm-hmm. But the problem is down the road, that same street I was in, she was right. There was like 3 on the market and too competitive. So I asked her, would you want the price on or not? She goes, no, we got to put the price because it's too competitive. And people know if the prices of the other houses are more or less the same, then that house, based on the square footage, has to be in the ballpark. So she said, let's leave it in and we'll just do what we can.
Yeah, interesting. You know what, Sean, maybe I wonder if there's not a rider, because sometimes these are not our listings or not, you know, we're doing open houses for other agents. Is there a sign we can put out about a buy down, you know, when we put the open house signs down? You know, people are driving around the neighborhoods. That may get their attention.
Yeah, you
at
can
least
do a rider.
Start a conversation.
Yeah. You could do a rider that says something like rate buy down offered, you know, something. You just don't want to get too technical, you know.
Right.
You could put something in lower rates, but it's hard on a rider, you know. I would say rate buy down available is something that may attract some people.
Yeah, I'm just saying if Nexa or, you know, or maybe you already have them, just a sign that we can stick in the yard when we're doing the open house, just to create a conversation, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I could create a sign where it does refer to rate, you know, lower than market rate offered, something like that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yep.
I think it's a great idea.
Because you know what, really, when we're sticking our open house sign in the front of that property, you know, this is like in Mike's in both Michael's situations over the weekend, it wasn't their listing per se. So when they're sticking the sign in the yard, put that rider or the sign that you can create, or even a QR code with it, to a video, something, just to create the conversation. Because like in Mike Duran's situation there, he's got 4 properties. They're all the exact same. They're all, you know, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet, 425. Well, why would somebody get into Mike's when the model is right around the corner and there's 3 other ones on the way? Maybe that sign would get people in there. So let's work on that.
Absolutely. You know? Value proposition. Get into this house for your interest rate 2% less.
Exactly.
You know? Is it new? Is it the builder that you're competing with, or just resales?
Michael Duran.
It was it's a brand new build, but the listing agent actually the owner sold it and then came back because he had an issue with his job. Now he's being shipped out. Okay. So basically, it is owned by the original owner again.
Well, I guess my point is, if you are competing with new construction, just make sure you understand what the builders are offering. Like Lennar's, offering 40,000 and closing costs and rate buy downs, and so just understand your competition if it's new construction and what they're offering. Yeah,
exactly. Mr. Toro, what do you think? Price or no price when it comes to marketing?
Well, been in retail for 16 years and I believe in pricing. I think that the customer always wants to see the price. People shop the price. They're used to seeing the price. But I don't have the experience in this industry that you guys have. So,
but Michael, time out. Don't worry about this industry. This comes down to us as people. What do we want to see? I mean, it'll be interesting to see if I get more hits on these boosts with price versus no price. So I know, just because you're not experienced in real estate, you're experienced in business, and you said it exactly the way Jason said. It's like, no, I want to know what the price is, So go ahead.
Every time I've bought many houses in the past, and every time I've been price driven, although it's not that I'm looking at the price tag. It's just I have a certain amount of money to spend, a budget per se. So if I'm budgeted and I'm only looking for a certain thing, I'm geared towards that price. I'm going to put the price in. I'm going to look at the price. If it doesn't have a price, I'm going to assume it's too much, or I don't know, something's up with it. But that, so that's my opinion on that, guys.
Got it.
I like the price.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Karen, thank you for being here this morning.
Hey, sorry, I got to take off early. I got an appointment.
Go. Talk to you later. Admin, why don't you unmute and share your thoughts? Price or no price when marketing?
Me personally, I think price is the most important aspect when it comes to it. Like how, previous people have said, when you go shopping for a car, for a house, or just like any daily supplies that you need, you always look at the price, because that's what you're paying for at the end of the day. So for buyers, when they look at the price, they know that it's there. And if it's not there, they kind of have their trust levels kind of go down. They kind of get suspicious. Okay, the price isn't there. So I think it's, the person who's marketing it probably isn't as serious as, if someone else put a price when they're marketing a property. It kind of just I don't know, the buyer doesn't have that level of trust when someone does put the price when they're marketing a property versus not putting the price when they're marketing a property.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the property, and like the couple that I mentioned, on a canal, direct access to the Gulf of Mexico for $650. It's a bargain. I mean, compared to other things similar. If they were in Pinellas County or Hillsborough, it'd be a lot more money than that. So again, I think it'd be interesting to see what happens with these boosts I did this week. So I appreciate your opinion. Mr. Parker, can you unmute and safely drive and talk at the same time? Love your opinion, David. David's driving, I know that. He's been a very, very busy guy. Dave, we'll get back to you when you unmute. And Deborah, I've known for almost 20 years now, probably. If you feel like unmuting Deb and sharing some wisdom, I'd love to hear from you as well.
Hey, John, in the meantime, I invited Joanne Keller.
Yes.
So if you see Joanne Keller, she's a new, she's a 4-year EXP realtor here in the Temple Terrace area.
Wonderful. And thank you, Michael. And thank you for inviting her. And Joanne, we'll get back to you right after we get back to Deb. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Deb.
Sorry, Deb.
Oh, no, not a problem. I was multitasking, tasking, zooming. I'm a proponent for transparency, and I believe. Yep. You there?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm a proponent for transparency, so I don't like an ad without a price. I think that you're just going to filter. It's more like a filter, so you put the price out there, you track the buyer whose price range that's in, or if you're not going to put Or I also like the idea of a price range, like someone had mentioned before too. If it's in the higher levels, maybe say, you know, in the 800s or something like that. But I think that not having enough information, I think a person just passes by it and says, well, it doesn't, I don't think it does pique curiosity. That's just my opinion.
Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. And looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. And thanks again for
Yes.
meeting us for lunch in Gulfport. That was wonderful reconnecting.
Oh, great.
Thank you. David, you're up. Go ahead, my friend.
So I believe in full disclosure. I think when you hide information, people become suspect and may think that something's up and maybe dissuade them from, you know, really evaluating what you have.
Good point. And I see how busy you are with Charlie's Cleaning Angels. Congratulations with that.
Thank you.
Can you take on more work, Dave?
Always.
For those who don't know, David has a separate other business, which is a full service cleaning business. And he's Charlie, and he's from Charlie's Angels. And Charlie's Cleaning Angels is David's company. And if anybody needs his information, I'll share that. Okay.
So we do post-construction cleanup, Airbnbs, move in, move out, make ready for sale. So we also do repair and remodeling as well. I've got a separate company that I started back in 11 to deal with the asset managers of banks, mortgage servicing companies, and hedge funds when they were getting all of the RIOs back from unfortunate situations.
And David, what areas do you cover, please?
Tri-County, Tampa Bay, Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough,
Good to
even
know.
over the bridge.
Mm-hmm. All right, David. Hey, thank you
Keep
for
us in
joining us this
mind.
morning. I know you're busy.
Thank you for the cameo.
Not a problem. Okay, Joanne. Hey, Joanne, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how long you've been in the business, and your opinion on price versus no price.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. It's been a wonderful, just over a week knowing Mike, and he and I have been teaming up as a local group. We're just calling ourselves a group because we are teaming up and sharing resources and just sharing strengths. So
wonderful.
Mike, thanks for inviting me on this group. I hope it's something I can continue to do. I've been in the business, I'm going into my 5th year of real estate, but come from investing before that. So longer experience in real estate and focusing here in Temple Terrace, although I do have business that floats out to the St. Pete way. However, I love this conversation. I think it depends on what you're trying to get out of your post. I tend not to put pricing in because I want people to ask questions, but I like this idea around giving them a price range. I like to do a lot of video tours and I don't put the price in, but maybe I'll start to put the range. And so people can get a feel. Like the other day I posted one that we were doing the open house in South Tampa, and obviously the price range is much larger than it is in Temple Terrace. And so I post on our bulletin board and I said, hey, bulletin, we're not in Temple Terrace today. We're actually in Hyde Park. But if you know anyone, and I didn't give the price on that one specifically, but we did post the link to the listing so they could open it and see it.
Got it. Wonderful.
So if you're trying to attract business to your open house, I think you want to be direct. If you're looking in this price range, here's the price range we're offering you. If you're trying to attract conversation, I think it's more about the allure, but give them the range, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree, Joanne. You know, it's interesting. Watched this YouTube guru a couple of weeks ago, and the pitch was on social media and video, and obviously we know that that's where it's at. But the idea of the video, which is what you're doing, is to create conversation, not so much, I'm in Hyde Park, here's a 3-2 for 700,000, call me. No, it's creating that an open dialogue and conversation with people that are watching the video, and it's interesting. Karen, who was first of all, Joanne, you're always invited, and invite all your colleagues to this every Monday morning at 9. Everybody's
Thank you.
invited. Sure, of course. And because you know what, we could all add a little nugget or two, and I'm guessing everybody's going to walk with something today, and that's what the whole purpose of this video is. But she's got a townhome on Lois, okay, on the corner of Lois. maybe a couple blocks in from 60. It's at 535. It's interesting. One's right down the road are 900 and are selling, and she can't sell the one for 535. So, you know, your point about creating wonder about what this property might be worth is, I think, a valid one. And that's why I think it's an interesting conversation, price versus no price. You know, it's mixed. And again, it goes back to what is the intent of the post. If it's to sell that valuable property because it's priced well, then I think the price is worth doing. If it's to create a database of leads, for example, buyers in Carrollwood, buyers in Dunedin, whatever it might be. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's just a debate and a conversation. So again, thank you for being here, Joanne.
Thank you for having me.
Where are you from originally?
Massachusetts. We've been here, we're going on 13 years.
Good for you. Well, I think everybody here is from up in that neck of the woods. Mike is. Adnan, where are you from originally?
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Indiana. The Ongs are from Jersey via Asia, right? And Colleen, I never knew where you were from. Where are you from?
I'm a native.
You're a native, and Tyler's from Indiana as well. Michelle, I believe, is a New Yorker. Deborah Del Rio, my friend, has roots all over the place, including Mexico and California and Arizona and Florida. So, and I believe Michelle's a New Yorker as well. And I'm from Buffalo, for those who don't know. Sean, what about you?
Chicago.
Chicago for Sherry. And Sean?
For me?
Yep.
Where am I from? Michigan.
Michigan.
Southfield, Michigan.
Very good. What a great group. So, anybody have any last comments about this subject? Raise your hand if you do. And if not, anything that happened this weekend that anybody would like to talk about at an open house, offers, etc. Okay, well, good. Go ahead, Sherry. Sure. Yeah.
As you all know, I am an eXp realtor. I'm here to support you guys as well as myself in any way you guys need. Just a couple things. Number one, you need net sheets. Call my cell. I can give it to you at a drop of a dime. Doesn't matter what time, doesn't matter what day. I truly believe that net sheets are the key to getting things finalized, as well as I also pull title at listings so we can make sure that there is nothing at all that needs to be cleared, including codes and permits. So when you guys get that buyer, it is ready to go. I am here to support you, not to advertise investment title. So anything I can do to help you guys succeed, let me know. Let's meet up for coffee. Let's get it done. Teamwork.
Sherry's truly a team player, and she has a branch office over in Brandon for the Hillsborough agents. If you need to use it, just make sure you get Sherry's information. Sherry, why don't you make sure you get your cells in the chat, okay? Okay, so anything else happened this weekend? Anybody want to chat? Go ahead, Jim. You're muted, my friend.
So we just went under contract with a 55 plus mobile home with land on it. And the owner actually told me that they have another one. This one needs work, was built in 1973 in Newport Richey. And they just ready to let it go. So anybody who's know anything or want to buy it, it's probably going to be a cash deal. They're asking for like 80,000, but it's all negotiable. So keep an eye and ear out, and let me know if you guys have any leads on that.
Of course.
Hey, Jim, can you post that on Facebook so I can repost the heck out of that?
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question of this group?
Sure.
If a property has it was flooded during the storm, it's a riverfront property, and they have a claim in for the insurance, can they sell before that claim is settled, or does it have to be settled first?
No, they can sell. I think the biggest issue is disclosure. You know, that's always disclose. Nothing good can ever happen when you don't disclose. Okay.
But if they close before the settlement, what happens to the settlement? They just get the cash?
Well, here's what I love your other opinions on this, everybody who's been in the business for a while, because like we've dealt with this before where someone will make a claim on a sinkhole, for example, and then they get the check and the sinkhole work is not done. That it's got to affect the purchase price, I would think, if the work isn't done, right? So the work's not going to be done until they get the claim or the insurance is pays out to them.
Okay,
But you can sell it, just disclose it.
Maybe we can talk offline. I don't know. I need some advice, you guys. I have a listing opportunity for a riverfront property in Newport Richey. It is prime property. It is a bend on the river with 225 linear feet of seawall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $1 million home in its original heyday. But now with all the damage, I'm just trying to figure out how they don't know. It's also a divorce situation. So the wife doesn't know how much the settlement's going to be for or when they're going to get it. She wants to put together listing paperwork and present it to the husband and say, look, this is what we can get for it. Let's just sell it. And I'm having a tough time figuring out how to price that with all the damage. And I need some help.
You know, Michelle, who might be a good resource is Steve, Karen's husband.
Okay.
Only because of his background with Allstate and all the claims he's gone through.
Okay.
I would think I would price it, with knowing what it would take to fix it and sell it at that price, and then subtract that and then sell it for the lower price. I mean, because someone's going to want to put their own, touch on it anyways, kitchen colors, etc. So, but anybody else?
That's pretty much what I was thinking. But
Go ahead,
I was going to say the same thing. I would do it like an ARV value, so just get a pricing on what it would take to get it just to a standard condition and then bring it down by that much, somewhere in the medium. So if the house, just with basic cosmetics and there's no structure, what's the worst part of the house?
So the entire first floor, actually, it needs flooring on both the first and second floor. The second floor flooring is the original 1970s flooring. And it's got it's not level. So 3,000 square feet of flooring. It needs all new appliances, needs new electrical. It needs probably about 2 to 3 feet up drywall on the first floor.
Well, anyone that look at it, okay, is going to be thinking that. So what you tell your sellers is that you start to get a pricing, from maybe a rehab or a general contractor or whatever. Say it's going to be $100,000 to repair, whatever it is, right? And that if that were the case, then the house would be worth $800,000. From the 800, you subtract the 100,000. You list it at 7 because that's what you're going to be getting when people come to see it. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm thinking the right way then. I just wasn't sure if they were going to be able to close on it with a pending insurance claim. But they can, you're saying?
I would think so, yes.
Yes, they can. And also, it's just a matter of extending the closing date because the thing about it is for a house like that, you're going to get somebody who wants to fix it. That's who your buyer's not going to be your regular buyer. Your buyer's going to be somebody who's looking for a discount.
Yep.
They can go in and do it themselves,
They're going to see the value in the location of the property and the riverfront. It's right on the bend by the bridge, overlooking Moonlight Bay. It's gorgeous. And it's on a cul-de-sac. So the home itself has water views from 3 sides of the house.
Yeah.
And once you get your sellers to agree, then what I would do is even before listing it in the MLS, if you need to reach out to, if you have a list of investors or an investment group, just get some kind of idea or just kind of get it out there that this is happening and maybe drum up some interest before you actually put it on the market.
Yep.
That's what I did with
you just said that. Thank you, Deborah. Actually, this is what I forgot to mention. They don't want to put it on MLS. This is a very unusual situation. The woman and her daughter suffer from, I don't even know, the electric dyskinesia, something or other. Like they can't have the electricity on. I cannot bring my cell phone on property. I have to turn my cell phone off in the car. She has this.
Okay, Michelle, it's okay. We don't, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, wait, here, hold on. I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
I got off topic and I apologize. For coming from commercial, this is how we used to do it in commercial. You would put out, if you didn't know the exact price that you want to put it out, you let the market dictate the price, and you put out a call for offers, and you set a deadline for those offers. And because of this situation, I felt that would be the ideal scenario, because we could say no showings, and only the top 3 offers will get a walkthrough showing, type thing, like only photography up until then. And then have a call for offers. I haven't really seen that in residential, so I'm wondering, is that doable?
Maybe as an auction type of situation, but people are gonna have to see the property, you know.
No, can I say something, Michelle? Would you just get with me, and because I have a list of investors who are always looking for opportunities.
Yep.
And maybe we can cross market it with, together, and I'll be happy to contribute what I can. Maybe I can bring a buyer to you.
Yeah, and I think and you got, Jim and Rachel also have other investors, and I've got another gentleman as well. So, Michelle, I will get you Deborah's number after the call here, and I'm glad that Deb, thanks for contributing on your first Mastermind Monday. Same with you, Joanne. Thank you for being here this morning. Okay. Anyways, I know we got to run. It's almost 10 o'clock. Thank you again for being here. I'll record this. I have, and I'll upload it. And guys, you've got our number if we can be of any help. Okay. Have a great day.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
That's all right. I'm just.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.